Okay, so in this section of the notes, we're going to be looking at what happens when we are multiplying the monomials rather than adding or subtracting. So a rule that is going to be very important, very helpful for us is what's called the product rule. Remember, the product means multiplying in math. So whenever we are multiplying variables together, like if, for example, we had x to the power of a times x to the power of b, we're going to add these two exponents together. We take a plus b. And a and b just represent just any number that could be our exponent. So if we have x to the power of a times x to the power of b, I would take x to the power of a plus b. I'm just adding those two exponents together. So let's look at some examples of this. On number 17, I have x squared times x cubed. These are my two exponents. When I multiply the variables together, I'm going to add those exponents. So this will be x to the power of 2 plus 3, which 2 plus 3 is 5, so that would give me x to the power of 5.
Attention, attention. Holding your room or area and clear the hall at this time. Again, all staff, holding your rooms or area and clear the hall at this time. Thank you.
All right, I apologize for that interruption. But let's look at number 18. We have a to the power of 9 times a. Remember that this a would have a 1 for its exponent because we don't see that exponent written. So when we multiply these a's together, we add those exponents, 9 plus 1, and that will give me a to the power of 10. Okay, then number 19, we have w to the power of 7 times w to the power of 4. So when we multiply those w's together, we're going to add the exponents, 7 plus 4. 7 plus 4 is 11. So this will give me w to the power of 11. So when all we have is a variable, it's pretty easy to do. We just add those exponents together. However, some of our problems are going to have coefficients as well as exponents, or as well as variables. So when we have a coefficient, we've talked about this a little bit before, but just as a reminder, a coefficient is a number in front of a variable. So when we have problems that include coefficients, the first thing we're going to do is multiply those coefficients, multiply those numbers in front, and then we'll simplify the variables with the product rule. And that product rule is the one we just looked at, where we're going to add the exponents. So let's look at some examples of what that looks like with these problems. On number 20, we have 4x squared times 3x to the 5th. So first thing I'm going to do is multiply these coefficients, 4 times 3. Then for the variables, we have x squared times x to the 5th. And so I would take x to the power of 2 plus 5. I'm adding those exponents together to get my answer. So I have 4 times 3, that is 12. And x to the power of 2 plus 5, 2 plus 5 is 7. So this will give me 12x to the power of 7. Okay. Then number 21, same thing. We're going to multiply the numbers in front first. So 3 times 5 is what we do first. Then for the variables, we add those exponents. So we'd have x to the power of 6 plus 2. 3 times 5 is 15. X to the power of 6 plus 2 is 8. So this would give me 15x to the power of 8. Okay. Number 22, we have 5x squared times 6x to the 4th. So we're going to multiply the 5 times 6. And then x to the power of 2 plus 4. 5 times 6 would give me 30. X to the power of 2 plus 4 is 6. So this gives me 30 x to the 6th. So far, those three problems that we just did are problems that only have one variable. All of them only had x. The next few problems we're going to be looking at are problems where we have more than one variable. So for example, number 23. I have negative 4a cubed b times 3a squared b to the 5th. So even though I have more than one variable, I'm still going to do the same thing. I'm still going to start with the numbers in front, the coefficients. So negative 4 times 3. Then I would take a cubed and a squared, so this would be a to the power of 3 plus 2. Then for the b's, this first b has an exponent of 1, then I have an exponent of 5, so 1 plus 5. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. A to the power of 3 plus 2 would be a to the power of 5. B to the power of 1 plus 5 would be b to the power of 6. So this would be negative 12, a to the 5th, b to the 6th. Okay. Number 24, we have negative 7, p to the 9th, q to the 3rd, r, times negative 4, p squared, q to the 6th, r to the 4th. So we got a lot of stuff going on, but we're still going to do it just the same as we would the other
The
problems.
whole has been listed. Again, the whole has been listed.
Okay, so we're going to start by multiplying negative 7 times negative 4. Then we do each variable one at a time. We'd start with the p's. I have p to the 9th and then p squared. So I would do 9 plus 2. Then for the q's, I have q to the 3rd and then q to the 6th. So I would do q to the power of 3 plus 6. And finally for the r's, this first one would have r to the power of 1. The second one has r to the power of 4. So 1 plus 4 is how I'll get my exponent for r. Negative 7 times negative 4 is a positive 28. P to the power of 9 plus 2 would be p to the 11th. Q to the power of 3 plus 6 would be q to the 9th. R to the power of 1 plus 4 would be r to the 5th. Okay. And so that will be the final answer for number 24. All right, I'm going to skip number 25. I think we can probably handle that one on our own. I do want to show you one of the problems that's down here for the practice, though. So you should already be done with problems 1 through 9. Now we're going to be working on problems 13 through 18. So first, I want to show you number 16, because it is a little bit different than the ones we did in our notes. So here I have three things being multiplied together. 5a times negative 3b times negative 2a squared b, b cubed. So even though there's three things, we're still going to do this the same way we would have done the other problems. I'm still going to take all my numbers in front together first. So I would start by doing 5 times negative 3 times negative 2. Then I'm still going to do the variables one at a time. So I'm going to start with a. And if I look at this first one, I have a to the power of 1. In this next part, I don't have any a's, so I'm just going to move past that for now. And then in this next part, I have a to the power of 2, so I would add 2. Then I'll look at the b's. In this first part, I don't have anything for b's. In the second part, I'd have b to the power of 1. And in the second part, I have b to the power of 3, so I would add 3. So then I just go through. 5 times negative 3 times negative 2 would be 30. A to the power of 1 plus 2 would be a to the power of 3, or a cubed. And b to the power of 1 plus 3 would be b to the power of 4. So that would give me 30, a cubed, b to the power of 4 as my final answer. So now I'd like for you to work on the rest of these 5 problems. So 13, 14, 15, 17, and 18. Finish these problems, and then you can go on to the last video for the notes to finish out your work for today.